obviously we left Pascal after a massive tragedy. When did you actually find out what was going on with Monica, and what was your reaction to that twist?
I wonder, I don't want to give anything away on how this TV show does business, of course. But with all due respect, I was told that I'd be portraying a scene that depicts the death of my wife on the very next episode coming up. I was told verbally by our wonderful producer before I received the script for that show. So I had verbal warning. I knew what I was going into when I read it. But those of us who have seen it, it's just as shocking the way it plays out. It's so brilliantly and so written so well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And we left him in such a traumatized place after in the last episode. What can you preview about his state of mind when we see him?
Well, I don't think it would come as any surprise, even the little we know about Pascal, that his choice is to go right back to work. So he does perform even somewhat past his need to perform, but then begins to really struggle, not just personally, but on the job, and then really at an incident on the site. So you'll see him coming through that, how to process loss and grief of that magnitude, so that struck him so suddenly. Yes, the writers have done such an incredible job of showing a person who has to carry on even with that recent loss. So the thing that I felt when we were shooting that, just like in real life, the very next episode after filming Monica's death, she's still dead, right? So death is the moment that it happens, but yeah, yeah, they deal with it so tenderly and in such a real gritty way too, as they're yeah writing beautiful part for Pascal.
Yeah. Andrea had mentioned to me that we're going to be seeing him pushed to the edge, which could mean any number of things, big or small, in terms of what the edge is for him. What can you share about what that edge is, and also what decisions you made and how to portray that?
Well, we have another, as we do every week, a major incident. And that's what I was trying to speak on before. And I think that's what Andrea, our producer, meant, which is that you see him go beyond his capacities to try and save a guy, and they do. But he really does the hands-on rescue himself. So, he wades right in as a chief, but this really he goes beyond measure, and really that'll read more as a symptom of his vulnerability rather than him being in charge. And gosh, uh, uh, I really don't want to say too much because it's knit together so beautifully. But you will see a man under the most immense post trauma pressure on the job, as the episodes further episodes ensue.
Well, and it's interesting because he is still relatively new to this job, relatively new to this firehouse. But these people also just saw him on arguably the worst moments of his life. What is his interactions like with the rest of the firehouse members now in the aftermath? Is he leaning on anyone? Is he pushing everyone away? What can you share about that?
Well, there too, we who know the show know that Violet also had a sudden loss in her life, and they do such an incredible job of paralleling those stories. And it's been incredible working so closely with Hanako Greensmith. Also, Christian Stolte as Mouch is just this towering actor and has an interesting bond with Pascal. So you do see him kind of um, you'll see the Firehouse really come through for Pascal. Even as you say, they may not know him as well, but remember what you saw leading up to this through the first season of Pascal's character, is him kind of backdoor and secretly somehow coming through for them. So he works with this real chief hard front, but he's all of these storylines shows how he comes through for them. So this time the tables are really turned and it's done beautifully.
Grief is not a rational emotion. And certainly this is a situation where, they were supposed to have dinner with her family and then they changed it to have their own special anniversary dinner. How much guilt are we seeing for him in the aftermath of thinking what might have happened if I had done this original plan?
Yeah, it's hard enough in the season where you're watching this grown-up couple trying to, reboot their their marriage, to go the distance. And gosh, that's why I say it's written so well, except to some extent, so much of it plays without words. Um, you've seen it on that last episode when Mouch is the one that finds Monica and that crew. And here they put it out of order. It's just so gut wrenching where, yeah, the audience knows about Monica while Pascal's still sitting at the table, waiting to celebrate with her. So that unresolved feeling carries through into the ensuing episodes. Um, but you know what I mean? The way they wrote it, we know that he's about to learn the most terrible news of his life. It was really excruciating, and not a word in there. So sometimes the best writing is doesn't have any dialogue in it.